I wish to comment on a television programme shown last month supposedly covering the issue of strip searching. In actual fact, this programme made little reference to the constant use of strip searching as a political weapon against women held on alleged Republican charges in prison. It is necessary to point out that strip searching of women prisoners was introduced in the north of Ireland in 1982. Since then, there have been over 4,000 strip searches carried out on a small female prison population, never exceeding 30 in number. Its practice in the north and on Martina Anderson and Ella O'Dwyer imprisoned in England was another form of torture. The decision to introduce strip searching on women prisoners was a political decision and merely the latest tactic in a long continual campaign of repression against Republicans within the prison. Strip searching was used then and is today as a means to isolate and humiliate Irish women by stripping them completely naked. It is a form of state legalised rape which occurs daily on Irish women held in British prisons, yet it is virtually ignored by the British media.
Our fourth speaker is Mairéad trial. Mairéad is Maghaberry. We were on protest, no work, no wash. Then we went on hunger strike, went back on the no work. Up until then there was no strip searching. Strip searching was introduced in 1982. And at that period we had decided that we were going to see if we could change the system by working within the system and see if we could bring about a change. It was then that the prison administration realised our own tactics were changing and they too changed their tactics. Strip searching was introduced at the end of 1982. That was a political decision. Up until then, they'd used isolation, loss of remission, loss of visits, all this type of form of punishment was used against us. They had nothing else left except strip searching. So they introduced it. This was a form to bring the woman down into the strip search area where you're totally alone. You're just surrounded by female screws. And you stand there. They tell you, go into a cubicle. You go into the cubicle, they say, right, strip. And you stand there and you say, strip, take your clothes off. That's an order. If you refuse to obey this order, you're going to be charged under the discipline and order. And therefore, that means isolation again. They say, take your clothes off. You've no other option. You stand there, you strip naked. You're standing there naked, and there's 3 to 5 female screws standing there looking at your body. You hand over your clothes, all your clothes, over to the screw. One of them stands there and goes through the clothes systematically, feeling around the hems, down, all underwear. If you're wearing sanitary protection, you have to remove the sanitary protection. If not, they go in, throw you down on the floor, remove the sanitary protection themselves. While you're standing there naked and they're going through their clothes, you've nothing else, you're just standing there. Then they walk into the cubicle and they say, right, lift up your hands. Your hands goes up, they feel your palms of your hands. Lift up your leg, the soles of your feet are searched, right down the back of your legs. They say there's no contact, there's physical contact. Then you're told, turn round. If you don't turn round, they turn you round. Lift up your hair, they lift up your hair and they search under your hair. You're just standing there totally naked all this time. Then they go out and they hand you back your clothes. They say, right, put your clothes on. It's difficult to understand. I myself was there, as I say, and I'd watch the remands going out to court every week. I saw the way they reacted afterwards. I saw the way they were before. They started to lose weight. Many of them stopped menstruating completely because coming up to this time, the fear of having their periods and having to go through all this was too much to bear. So their bodies reacted. But as I say, I saw all this, but I couldn't appreciate it until I myself was coming out of here in September. And I was brought down, and to me it was the final insult, the final kick. You've spent all those years in there, you may have gone through protests, but we're not going to let you forget. We're never going to let you forget. And that's what it is. It's a means to break the Republican prisoners in Maghaberry, as it means they've always done it. And they're going to try different methods, and this is their latest method. And that we ask you today to do your utmost to help end this, because it's the people outside. It's the people outside who are going to have to do something about it. We need people to come out and support us. because the women inside, they do as much as possible, which is very little. They are incarcerated, and it's outside that need that help. And I would just like to tell you about a delegation that went into the prison yesterday. This is of prominent women journalists from the 26 counties who went in to visit the women prisoners in Maghaberry. They comprised of Moira Crowe from the Irish Press, Neil McCafferty, the journalist author, and Jane Levine, which is chairperson on the Employment and Equality Agency, along with Sylvia Meehan. They will be writing articles on the women and the whole issue of strip searching and bring the issue to the fore. We call on all other women prominent in public life to follow suit. Thank you.